Nickelodeon Kart Racers! Have you ever wanted to race against other colorful characters in a weird and wacky world? Well, you should play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the Switch. That one is really fun. But then I guess there's also this game you could play, but it's not so much. Mario Kart 8 for the Switch is always going to be the elephant in the room. There's always going to be games that try to do as good as that title, and they often fail. Cars is a good example of one that was way better than I expected, and Fruit Racers was an example of one that wasn't so great. It was so boring, I didn't even bother doing a review on it. This one I would place sort of in the lower middle. It feels like with just a little bit more effort, it could have been more than just an average game. This has you playing with characters from 4 different Nickelodeon shows. The lack of real diversity in the roster was a real big problem for this game. It has the Ninja Turtles, and a few characters from SpongeBob and Rugrats, and a couple from Hey Arnold. Where's Danny Phantom, or Jimmy Neutron, or Fairly Odd Parents? Heck, I would have taken Blue from Blue's Clues. It's just the most basic roster you can imagine. 12 whole characters to play as. Worse yet, there is no voice clips at all. They paid to license the character, but they didn't get any of the voices to go along with it. That is insane. Even if it has a lot of repeated lines, at least the characters would feel like we're playing the TV characters that we love. It's such a strange choice not to have voice clips. Or it's a lazy one, that's up to you. Then there's the stages. They're drivable versions of famous locales. However, since most of them are covered in slime, it kind of ruins the familiarity. There are quite a few stages to play, but there also felt like they're remixed stages as well. It was hard to tell. They were just so generic in feel. Even if they were trying to make you feel nostalgic, it was just a complete failure in my book. That being said, the driving was actually okay, and it was easy enough to master the controls and figure out what the power-ups do. One of the strangest things was how the slime was portrayed in this title. It won't slow you down. You're going to want to drive over it so you can get the turbo boost using that slime. There are 3 levels of slime boosts, and you can use it every time it gets to that level, or you can save it up and barrel through characters with a powerful slime boost. In the single player, there were quite a few tournaments to play. In total, there were 24 racetracks. Some of the cup tournaments are locked behind somewhat steep first place finish requirements. However, purchasable upgrades to your car will make it so you're slowly able to make your kart really fast. In the single player, you can play normally or in teams. In teams, you and another character team up against 4 other teams. It was an odd addition for a single player game, since it was usually just you versus everyone else, but at least it gives you new ways to play the tournament cups. Most of the time, the single player games were as simple as go 3 laps. However, they will occasionally change it up by making you go through slaloms, and if you miss too many of them, you'll be disqualified. There's also an elimination challenge where every 18 seconds, the person in last place will be eliminated. However, they still insist on making you go 3 laps. Wouldn't it have been more exciting if we could get down to 2 people and see who got eliminated first? Most of the time, you're going to finish the laps before the elimination is done. And if you do win first place in one of these cups, what do you get for your trouble? You get slimed. And for some reason, the characters don't seem to mind. I get that it's a Nickelodeon staple. It just doesn't make sense in this game. Or a coveted prize like, ooh, I'm first place. That means I get covered in goo. This title can be played with 3 other players, and it has no online gameplay at all, so you're going to have to play this locally. So if you know some friends who want to play a generic version of Mario Kart, you have just the game for them. Nickelodeon Kart Racers was very disappointing. They had the possibility of having a variety of Nickelodeon characters to play, and they stopped at 12. And a 4th of them were just the same character with different turtle masks. It felt like someone got the cheapest possible license to use the character and thought the visual of playing as the character would be enough. The lack of voices and overall drabness of the racetracks really killed any fun I might have had with this. You should just skip this. There just isn't anything that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe didn't do better. And it's not even that much more money to buy that game than it is this one, as this one retails normally at $40. The lack of any personality in the characters or fun worlds to explore makes me say this is one race you should just forfeit.